What is going on, everybody? It is Big L here, and today I'm bringing you our is it week 9? I think it's week 9 battle of the PWO. This week we are taking on another coach who's having a really good season in Coach Bond and his Bob on Blast. We get to play the three newbies back to back to back. And Bond has a really scary team. His types are Psychic and Steel, two really good typings. Psychic is my favorite type. Before I got the first pick in the draft, my plan was to take Psychic. But let's go over his team real quick. He has Iron Boulder, Tapu Lele, Meloetta, Cabalion, Fortress, Steelix, Hisuian Gudra, Celesteela, Armorogue, Probopass, and Mega Alakazam. So we can see the team that he brought on the screen right in front of you. He brought the Tapu Lele, Mega Zam, Fortress, Iron Boulder, Meloetta, and the Celesteela. I brought, for this week, I brought Iron Treads, Mega Altaria, Palisand, Iron Valiant, Grimmsnarl, and Garchomp. First thing that stands out immediately is we have to play another Flying Steel type. I'm so sick of these damn Pokemon because I can't hit them. I can't hit them hard. Celesteela, in my opinion, is one of the most annoying Pokemon to deal with, period. The thing is so fat. I'm convinced he's going to bring Sub-Seed against me because that seems... I can't hit super hard. So the ability to set up Sub, get Leech Seed off. Whoever decided Celesteela gets Leech Seed is an absolute demon. I guess they figured it deserves recovery even because it doesn't get produced. But anyway, I don't really have the best leads in this, so I decided I'm going to go ahead and just lead off with the Iron Treads, see what he wants to lead. I'm not sure. Knockoff spam is pretty good against his team, so leading something that can knock off is pretty good against him. So I'm going to go ahead and lead the Iron Treads as he goes for the Fortress. Here, I'm going to go ahead and switch out into the Altaria. I have Flamethrower on this. This thing is kind of meant to counter Celesteela a little bit. If he is a Heavy Slam, I got Automize or Flash Cannon or something. If he's more of a physical set, because I thought if he's going to bring one move, I thought he'd bring like Heavy Slam. So I have Cotton Guard, but I also have, and I think Flamethrower is my only attack. So he goes for Rapid Spin. I don't really care. I guess he was predicting me to go for Stealth Rocks, and he doesn't want Rocks up, which is fair. But I go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and go for the Flamethrower as he goes out into the Meloetta. I Mega Evolve, go for the Flamethrower, and we snag the burn immediately, and that's pretty huge. Excuse me, that helps wear this thing down. Assault Vest Meloetta is really fat, and this thing can be a problem. He's used it very well this season. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and just go for another Flamethrower. I don't know what this thing wants to do. He goes for the Route Song and he gets the Sleep. At the time, I forgot that Meloetta was Serene Grace. I was like, man, that's like a 20% chance, or like a 10% chance. But it's kind of deserved. I did get the burn, and then later on, I was like, oh yeah, Meloetta's Serene Grace, so I can't really be too upset about getting immediately put to sleep. But I'm perfectly content here. I know that Meloetta can't really do too much to me. I have Roost. I can go ahead and just try to wake up and Roost up. Because I don't really want to switch anything in on this. I want HP on Iron Treads and Palisand. Because I need Treads as Assault Vest this week. I need it to be able to switch in on Tapu Lele. And I need the Palisand HP to help me counter, kind of wear down Celesteela. So I'm content to just stay in and try to wake up as he goes for Ice Punch, and we see how little it does. And so I'm gonna stay in again. I'm gonna try to stay in and wake up. We get the wake up and we go for the Roost, and that's perfect. But I can't stay in. I do have a lot of Spadef on this, but this is enough Spadef to live a Moonblast from non-item boosted Lele. But I have a setup switch in. And that is the Iron Treads. I am Assault Vest Iron Treads. I should be able to take 2 hits from any Lele set. And I see how much this does. It's 32%, and that's a little more than I was expecting. That tells me that he is item boosted. But we see he's not Life Orb. So I was doing some calcs. I was like, okay, Modest can't do that much. Modest non-item booster can't do that much. So we landed on either Twisted Spoon or something like that, and we find out in the post game that it is Twisted Spoon, it is timid Twisted Spoon, which is fine. Like I said, I knew I could take 2 hits from this thing with my Iron Treads, with my Assault Vest. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and go for a knockoff here. I thought maybe he might switch into the Celesteela, predicting an Earthquake, but he didn't. He goes out into Fortress, which Fortress is a good switch into this. I don't get any kind of fire move to hit this thing with. I go for the knockoff, and we get rid of this thing's boots, which is fine. I go ahead and go out into the Palisand, thinking he might go for another Rapid Spin, as he gets up a Spike, which is very annoying. I don't have any boots on my team, and the only removal I have is Spin on Treads. But I want HP on Treads, so I don't really want to be switching then on these Spikes. So Spike was really annoying. I don't really have a way to stop him from doing it. I thought about going for Infestation here, just to kind of keep this Fortress in. He can't Volt Switch out, obviously, because I'm ground type. But I didn't want him to get, I didn't want him to just keep getting layers of spikes up. So I decided to go ahead and go for a Shadow Ball, as the Demon has entered the building and he gets the Shadow Ball. I was hoping to maybe get a Spadef drop here, because as you can see, a Shadow Ball doesn't break the sub. I have a little bit of leftover EVs, and I put them into Spadef to give me a couple rolls that can break a sub on Celesteela, but I needed the HP, Spadef, and defense to live certain hits from certain mons, and unfortunately I didn't have enough special attack to be able to put into to guaranteed break a sub, but I do have I think it's like 2 rolls to break a sub. I can't stay in here. I go ahead and go out into the Altaria. That was kind of my designated switch into this thing, because I do have Flamethrower, and I have Roost. I have Roost. I can kind of stall out its protects, its subs, all that. As he just goes for the sub, predicted move. I go ahead and go for the Flamethrower here. We break the sub. As he goes for the Leech Seed, this is 100% the set that we prepared for. This interaction takes a long time, so I'm just going to let it play out. I go for a Roost, predicting a Protect, as he just goes for another sub. And here, I think I go for a Flamethrower. Yep, and I go for another Flamethrower this next turn, because I know he can't Protect. He just protected, as he reveals that his only move is Flamethrower. And unfortunately, he snags the burn immediately. But hey, you know what? We got the burn earlier on Meloetta first turn. Turnabout's fair play. It's all good. This goes back and forth for a little while. He outplays me pretty hard. Again, here I expected him to go for a Protect, but looking back, he had no reason to go for Protect here. He was already at full HP. He doesn't need to get any extra HP back. I'm going to take a drink of water. He had no reason to go for anything but sub there. So here, again, I predict him to go for a Protect. I go for Roost, and he doesn't Protect. So he's just completely predicting me here. I go ahead and go for I believe I go for a Flamethrower this turn. Oh, I go for Cotton Guard, because I'm trying to not waste my Roosts. I'm trying to stall out his Protects. But again, he's at 100%. He doesn't really have any reason to Protect. I don't think I played this interaction very well at all. So here, I don't predict. I needed to Roost here. He goes for a Flamethrower, and I'm just getting worn down, chipped down slowly. I go for a Flamethrower. He goes for a Flamethrower. I believe I go for another Flamethrower this turn. Yep, and I was really hoping to get a burn, but he goes for a sub. I believe I go for Roost this turn, because I don't want to die. Yep. And again, he goes for a Leech Seed. I think he predicted me to switch out there. And I think I go for the Flamethrower this turn, yep, because I know I don't die. At that point, I'm like, you know what? If I'm not dead that turn, I'm not clicking Roost. I really just don't want this thing to end up behind the sub. That's all I'm thinking of right now. I'm not thinking of 1v1ing the Celesteela at this point in time. I'm thinking I just don't want this interaction to end with Celesteela having a sub up. So here, I'm like, okay, I'm going to Flamethrower, because I don't die to Leech Seed plus Burn. So if he does go for sub, I've at least worn him down a little bit. So we don't die to Leech Seed plus Burn. And again, I'm thinking if I could snag a Burn on one of these Flamethrowers, that'd be huge, negate that Leftovers recovery. And then now here, I have to Roost. As he goes for a Protect, this Protect surprised me. But I go for the Roost. But he was getting a little bit low, so I guess I do understand. But like I said, at this point in time, my whole thing is I just cannot let this thing end this interaction behind the sub. That's all I'm trying to do at this point in time. He makes a good play here, goes for the sub on my flamethrower. He goes for protect here, as I believe I go for the roost. Yep, and now I am free to just flamethrower this turn, as I believe he goes for the flamethrower as well this turn. No, he goes for the sub, which again is fine. I think I go ahead and go for another flamethrower this turn. Yep, I think I'm out of roosts. Yeah, I'm out of roosts. So, and I think he goes for the, yeah, I just die, which is fine. And I go out into the Iron Valiant. Iron Valiant is my only real play here. I don't want to go out into Garchomp, because Garchomp is a setup set. It's like my third week in a row bringing a setup Garchomp, and it just, I'm really excited to try to use it. But I have to go Iron Valiant. I have Thunder Punch. Thunder Punch will hit everything on his team pretty hard. And we've seen that his only attacking move is Flamethrower, so unless I get burned, because I am physical, unless I get burned, I can 1v1 this thing at this point in time. So, we go ahead, we get our Quark Drive, we're fast, we get our Thunder Punch off. I thought about going for Swords Dance here, but I was like, no, I can't go for Swords Dance, and then he gets a Flamethrower burn, or if I go for Swords Dance and he goes for sub, no, that would have been fine actually. But I just didn't want to get, I just didn't want to go for Swords Dance and get Flamethrower burn. So I go for Thunder Punch. We get Flamethrower. He goes for the Flamethrower. Does a good chunk. I go ahead and go for another Thunder Punch as he switches out into the Meloetta, which is a good switch on his part. Meloetta, I don't really think it's doing a whole lot against me, especially it's burned, and it looks like he was a physical set with Relic Song and Ice Punch. So we go ahead and get the Thunder Punch. I go ahead and go for the knockoff just to claim the KO. And we do see that it was Assault Vest, which we saw whenever it switched in on Altaria that it was Assault Vest. And he goes out into the Iron Boulder. This thing in prep scared the absolute daylights out of me. I thought if he wasn't going to be Quark Drive, he was going to be Scarf. The Scarf Iron Boulder looked really, really strong into me. And so I'm like, okay, I'm like, okay, I didn't see the Quark Drive prop. I'm like, okay, Valiant, you're probably dead here, because I think this is Scarf. You're probably dead here. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for a knockoff. If we can claim its item, that'd be great. And we go for knockoff, and we prop a weakness policy. That wasn't something that was on my radar for this thing. And it's really, really scary, because this thing is strong. And then even worse, he goes for agility this turn. I'm like, oh shit. At this point in time, I'm like, what do I have on my team that lives? Depending on what set he is. So I'm like, okay, I might just lose here. This thing might just sweep, because this is scary. Iron Boulder's so strong, and I'm wishing I had Shadow Sneak right now. But I just go ahead and go for a close combat here to try to kill, and he goes for the Mighty Cleave and just takes me out. The only Mon I have on my team that can take a hit from this thing is Palisade. But which at this point in time, I'm like, you know what? Taking a bunch of damage on Palisand means I can't really help wear down the Celesteela at all. So I'm thinking I may have to use way too many resources at this point in time to be able to beat the Celesteela. So I go ahead. I'm like, I can't worry about Celesteela. I have to deal with the threat that is in front of me, and that is this +2 attack, +2 speed Iron Bolt. If I don't get through it, I don't have to worry about the Celesteela. So I have to go for Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball. I've revealed Shadow Ball. I think he stays in and just tries to get as much damage off as he can on me, but he switches out into the Celesteela, which surprised me. I thought he'd just let this go down. But I get it. It's a good mon keeping the back. And here, I see after the leftovers recovery that he doesn't have enough HP to make a sub. So I think he's going to protect. My prediction here is, okay, he's going to protect, get enough HP back to get a sub up the next turn. Even after he protects, Garchomp Fire Fang will kill this thing, and this thing will be dealt with. So I go ahead and I go out into Garchomp, which I think, is a very safe play here, as either he makes a prediction or he just makes a really good play, and he goes for Leech Seed, and it misses, unfortunately for him, because looking at it, if he hits that Leech Seed, he protects next turn, and I believe he lives a Fire Fang. But I'm free to just go ahead and go for a Fire Fang here. I'm surprised he stayed in, because if I'm loaded dice. If I go for Scale Shot there, I have rolls to kill if I get 4 or more. If I get 4 or 5 hits, and then I'm fast. But it is what it is. We get the Fire Fang, and the Celesteela is dealt with. Thank God. This thing is a whole ass problem. So he goes out into the Lele, which is what I expected him to do. As I go ahead, I don't want Iron Treads to take a whole lot of damage. With the Celesteela and the Meloetta both gone, I'm thinking, and this thing not able to boost again with its attack anymore, I'm like, you know what? I think Palisand is my most expendable member. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and go out into Palisand, see what he wants to go for. He goes for the Moonblast, which is the expected move, and we take 44%, and we're at 44%. Here I'm thinking, okay, Palisand, you did a good job this week. It's time to see if you can maybe, live a hit. We're gonna go for Shadow Ball here, and he switches out into Alakazam of all things. So we do a big chunk of damage to this thing, and we get a nice little bit of Leftovers recovery back. And I'm like, okay, I will definitely take damage on Alakazam. I get why he didn't want to take the damage on Lele, didn't want to risk the roll. Because, being able to keep his terrain up stops me from being able to potentially, like, Prankster Parting Shot around, and it makes it so I can't click Scale Shot freely on Garchomp. I completely understand why he would want to keep his Lele around, but I don't think Shadow Ball would have killed. Lele's got some pretty decent natural bulk, but here I decide I'm just gonna stay in. If he has Shadow Ball, he has Shadow Ball. I didn't know if he would have Shadow Ball. I wasn't sure if he would have Expanding Force either, but he does have the Expanding Force. I think Psychic would have been a roll to kill. I don't remember the calcs exactly. I'm literally making this video a week after. I don't remember all the calcs, but he goes for the Expanding Force, and Palisand goes down. Look, Palisand, you did your job. You weakened the Celesteela a little bit. You weakened Alakazam quite a bit. That's fine. So I decide I'm going to go ahead and go out into Grimmsnarl. If he goes for Expanding Force, if he doesn't have a Fairy move, like I know I live a Dazzling Gleam, I can get a Light Screen up. So we get the Light Screen up, Dazzling Gleam, it does 27%, and here is where things get a little bit weird. I'm doing calcs, and I think to myself, I could see him maybe switching out into Fortress here. I have Fire Punch for the Celesteela, and I'm doing calcs. I'm like, there's no universe where Alakazam lives a Fire Punch. There's no reason for me to go for Spirit Punch here. So I'm like, I'm gonna go Fire Punch. He goes for the Dazzling Gleam, and we go for the Fire Punch, and it doesn't kill. You'll see in the sets in the post game interview, this is like the bulkiest, like full bulk Megazam. So I'm like, well, shit. Now I have to take unnecessary damage. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go ahead and put Spirit Break, as he shows Recover. And I know Spirit Break doesn't do that much damage. So, but at this point, I'm like, okay, he can go ahead and go for the Spirit. He can go ahead and Recover. That's fine. I have my Light Screen up. I'll keep weakening this, and then he just doesn't do anything. So he goes for Recover again. I go for another Spirit Break. I'm like, okay, this thing is -2 now, and I have a Light Screen up. I can switch him basically whatever I want. So I go ahead and go out into, he goes out to Iron Boulder as I go out into Iron Treads, which this is fine with me. Depending on his speed, I could be faster. But he goes out, he switches out into the Fortress, which is fair. I go for the Earthquake. Earthquake spam is free now. If Celesteela is gone, I can just click Earthquake and get damage on anything. And here I'm just like, I'm gonna go ahead and keep Earthquaking. I'd love to just get rid of this thing. If he has Body Press, it's a roll to kill me. And he does go for it, and he doesn't get the roll. That was a roll to kill. I go ahead and go for another Earthquake, and we get the KO on the Fortress. That bulky demon is gone. He goes out into the Alakazam, and he goes for the Dazzling Gleam and takes us out. Here I go for the Grimmsnarl. I think, at this point, I'm just going to get up a Light Screen, and hope that light screen is enough for Garchomp Earthquake to sweep, or maybe I can get up a Swords Dance and then sweep with Earthquake. Uh, but he, so I go to Grimmsnarl, I get up a light screen as he switches out into Lele. That was a big surprise to me. Even through screens, Dazzling Gleam killed. So that surprised me. So here I'm like, again, I'm thinking, hey, I got a light screen up. Garchomp, I need Garchomp to kind of pull through for me here. I'm gonna go ahead and just go for a Spirit Break though. I don't really think I need Reflect Up. But he goes for a Future Sight. I'm like, okay, I'll take free damage on this Lele. I know Garchomp outspeeds the Lele, and I needed a little bit of damage on it for Earthquake to kill. So I'm like, this is perfect. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go for another Spirit Break. We damage the Iron Boulder. We don't get the kill, which is kind of unfortunate. But here, I'm content. I'm just gonna go ahead and get up a Reflect. I'm like, okay, if he kills me, that's fine. I can get a Reflect up, go out into Garchomp. Then I have both screens up. I'm free to Swords Dance. I'm free to do whatever I want to do, basically. And he goes out into the Lele as I again just, I'll go for a Spirit Break. My bad. I'm content. I'm in a good spot now. His team's worn down at this point, and I'm gonna go ahead and we take the Future Sight. Obviously, it doesn't do anything to this physical Dark type. And so here I'm gonna go ahead and go for another Spirit Break, and we take out the Lele, which is great. And this is the last turn of terrain. So the Zam is going to be weakened. He goes out into the Iron Boulder again as I go for the Reflect. He goes for the Mighty Cleave and takes out Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl, great work, buddy. And now it's just a matter of cleanup. We are faster, and we go for the Scale Shot because I want to be able to outspeed the Zam. I don't want to play around with crits. And we get Scale Shot, KO, and we get the speed. We take the Future Sight, and he goes out into the Mega Zam. We outspeed since we're +1, and we get the KO with the Earthquake, and that is GG Bond. A little bit weird. That game was a little bit strange, but we take a 1-0 against a really good team, really good player. He outplayed me with the Celesteela Altaria interaction a little bit. But we're done with the Steel Flying types. Those things. But what sucks is all three of them are likely going to be in playoffs, so we're probably going to have to play them again at some point anyway, which isn't something I'm looking forward to. Just because, like you've seen over the last few weeks, these things are a problem for my team, and I just don't really know that I don't really have the best ways to get around them. But yeah, that'll be GG's to Bond. Like I said, we moved to 7-2, guaranteed a winning season. I'm pretty sure we're guaranteed playoffs at this point, which is awesome. We take those. And yeah, we'll see you in just a second for the coach interview. What is going on, everybody? It is Big L here, and we are here right after the Week 9 battle with... I'm blanking. Bond. Gosh, I was blanking on your name for a second.
All good.
So, it was a really, really good game. Brought some things that I definitely wasn't expecting. Like this Alakazam set is something.
Yeah, I don't know if it worked, but I wanted to try something.
I thought it was done. I was surprised at how little it was doing later in the game. And then the Fire Punch with Grimmsnarl on it, I was like, oh, there's no universe where this thing lives either hit, so I'll just go for Fire Punch in case he wants to try to make a little play, save this for later, and go into Fortress, predicting the Spirit Break.
I mean,
like,
fair play. You just didn't expect the max defense Alakazam, I suppose.
Yeah. Your Iron Boulder was no speed.
Yeah, I think that really screwed me at the end there because it couldn't outspeed Garchomp, and so I was like, man.
Well, I don't know, because I mean with Reflect Up, and my Garchomp was still really healthy.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like before Grimmsnarl dies, I really wanted to try to at least make sure that it was up.
Right.
Because with Lele gone, I was like, okay, I can just live a hit and I can Scale Shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
yeah. Once Boulder like got rid of Valiant, I was like, man, I don't actually know what else I can use Boulder for this game because it's slower than both Garchomp and Treads because I
Yeah,
didn't put any speed into the
yeah,
thing.
I
So
did
I'm
not
like,
realize how slow you were. Whenever you switched it out on treads, I was like, well, I guess I just have to go for the earthquake here.
yeah,
Because I mean, it naturally outspeeds treads, so I was like, I guess
yeah,
I
by
just
a
have to
good
go for
amount
the
too.
earthquake here, and then whenever you switched out, I was like, oh, maybe he just doesn't have speed.
Yeah, that
Um,
was definitely yeah, because I was like, I want to make it really bulky so it survives random stuff.
right,
Um,
and it
but
plus,
I wonder.
and if you get your weakness policy, you don't really need all of the attack.
Right, right, right.
Um, but I thought I was gonna have to lose too much utility to stop it after it got its weakness policy up. That's why I thought the game was. I was like, I'm gonna have to give up too much to be able to beat the rest of his team.
Yeah, I probably would have kept it in against Grimmsnarl or Garchomp, but I figured for Palisand, I figured I could just go into Celesteela and be annoying again.
Yeah.
Because I could live two Shadow Balls and
Yep.
just get off Leech Seed and try to do some more there.
And yeah, I thought you would, because whenever you came in on the Shadow Ball, you were under, after leftovers damage, you were under 25%. So it's like, well, he can't make a sub here. I switched to Garchomp because I figured you'd
Yeah.
protect so you could make a sub the following turn. Because like because I
Oh,
didn't break a
yeah.
sub. I was like, okay, he likely protects here, and even after leftovers recovery, Fire Fang from Garchomp will just kill this thing. So I was
Right,
like,
right.
I'll go ahead and make a switch out here into Garchomp while he goes for protect, and you ended up missing the Leech Seed, which I don't. It may I don't remember the calc off the top of my head.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know how much it probably does a lot though,
it
Fire Fang.
it may have, but like, if you Leech Seed, if you land the Leech Seed, go for protect. You definitely probably live another one. You definitely
Yeah,
live
I
one.
think
So it's like,
so.
and at that point, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with that thing because I'm so sick and tired of fighting bulky flyers. Oh my goodness, my team doesn't deal with them. And then,
Yeah, you're the steel, the ground.
but it's so it's like I've had to play in the last 4 weeks now. It was Corviknight, Skarmory, Moltres, Celesteela,
Oh my
and
God,
I'm just
yeah.
like I'm so sick of seeing these bulky steel flying types, and it's just driving me insane. So
Yeah, they're hard for you to break, huh?
thank God I'm done with them,
No more of those in your season.
and at least until the playoffs.
All
Oh
right,
my,
good.
because of course all you steel flyer guys have to have good teams. You're probably going to be in playoffs too. So I mean,
Playoffs is going to be tough. I feel like getting a high seed is so important here because like there are definitely some really hard matchups.
yes,
Like the electric against water, or I feel like, oh my God, my first week matchup against ground dark, I was like, are you kidding me?
that
It's
happens.
so
I
bad.
mean, I think this. I mean, granted, it's easy to say because we're having two of the better seasons in the league. I think this format's been pretty fun.
No, I think it's really fun. It's super unique.
But like
I've never done something
I know
like
some
this
people are
before.
kind of over it, but
No, I like it.
but
I
I
mean,
think
it's like some games are super hard, but it's a fun challenge in that way.
it's different.
Yeah, yeah.
I before I remembered that Meloetta was Serene Grace, I was so mad whenever you got that relic song sleeve.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, but I'm like, oh, I guess I did get the flamethrower burn immediately, so I'm like, okay, and then I was like, oh, it's Serene Grace. Oh, I have no right to complain. Okay, it's Serene
Yeah,
Grace. Like,
20% is like nothing anyway. But
so
man, I was doing like no damage to the your Altaria there.
it's just max HP.
Yeah, wow, that thing is pretty bulky.
It's fat. I mean, it's meant to try to beat Celesteela, which you saw how that went. That didn't go well.
Oh yeah, I was wondering what the Carton Guard was for.
It was in case you were heavy slam.
Mm,
That way I could
okay.
cotton guard and then roost.
Yeah.
And then the 16 speed on Grimmsnarl was in case you wanted to try to speed creep Grimmsnarl a little bit with Celesteela.
Mm.
I didn't
Yeah, I
really,
didn't put anything
yeah, I
beyond
didn't
that.
really need anything anywhere. I don't remember what the defense spit F were specifically for off the top of my head.
Yeah.
They were there for something. But the speed was, yeah, I wanted to be able to speed creep because Fire Punch, I was really bummed out because Darkest Lariat the has like 3 or 4 rolls that don't break sub on Celesteela.
Oh, and you didn't want to go for that.
Yeah, and so I was like, knowing my luck, I was like, I'll go for it, and then on a sub, and I won't get it, and then
Yeah, I mean it's safer that way.
because I really wanted Darkest Lariat into your team for obvious reasons. If I had Darkest Lariat instead of Fire Punch, that end game would
Yeah.
have looked a lot different.
Yes, yes. I thought for sure Alakazam was gonna die from like any dark move, which is why I didn't recover at first.
Right.
And then it didn't die to Fire Punch, and I was like, oh, like maybe that's all you have.
Yeah. And then whenever you let it take a couple uh, Spirit Breaks, I was like, well, because I did have the which I guess I didn't need the Rapid Spin on Iron Dreads. Otherwise, I would have brought it in much sooner. But
Yeah.
I was like, I could bring something in and just try to set up here. But like the problem was, again, I didn't know how like because you brought your team like relatively slow.
Yeah.
I was like, but I didn't want to bring Garchomp in too early because I was like, well, he just brings Lele in on Scale Shot, and then I just die.
Yeah, I was super worried about Garchomp coming in, which is why I like swapped out there too. Because I was like, oh, I have no special attack anymore.
Yeah, because I was like, I could bring this in and maybe go for a Swords Dance, and then if I'd known your team was that slow, I probably would have done that.
Yeah. The Grimmsnarl into Valiant and Garchomp is like so scary as both of
Yes.
them just like you can't let them get set up at all.
Right. Yeah, that's. I mean, I feel bad because I feel like, well, there was the 1 week I did bring setup. I brought bulk up Grimstarl, and then I think it saw the field one time that whole game, and I felt bad. I was like, damn it, the one time I'm gonna get to bring a different set on Grimstarl that's not just light clay screens,
Yeah.
and it comes in one time and then it just doesn't see the field the rest of the game.
Yeah, I feel like if a Prankstermon is coming in against like a Lele team, it has to be screens.
Oh
Because
yeah,
otherwise,
there was a reason
yeah.
yeah, I had Fire Punch instead of like Thunder Wave or like
Yeah,
Parting Shot.
exactly.
Parting Shot even would be like Parting Shot would look great into your team if you had anything but Lele.
Right. I
Like
was surprised that Nidoqueen didn't come because I thought that that was going to be like the biggest Celesteela challenge.
I thought about it, but I was like, well, Altaria gets Flamethrower and Fire Blast.
It's true. Yeah.
And then I was like, Valiant gets Thunder Punch, and Garchomp gets Fire Fang. I was like, do I really want to bring a Poison type against Psychic?
Yeah, that would be kind of awkward.
I mean, like I thought about it. I mean, because
Yeah,
Nidoqueen's just a really good Pokemon. So like I
it's
did think
great.
about
Yeah.
it. But yeah. Is there anything that I brought that was a surprise?
I wasn't expecting to see Palossand there.
Everybody says
I
that.
thought, yeah, I thought it would be like Piloswine or Nidoqueen or even Togekiss.
And like, Togekiss, I thought about Togekiss for a second. Like, Mystical Fire is pretty decent into your team.
Yeah.
Um, I did think about Togekiss for a brief second, but I just Palisade. Like, if I was able to knock off your leftovers on the Celesteela, if I could pull off my Infestation
Right.
deck, then
That could have been good.
I
Yeah.
could wear you down. Like Infestation Shore Up could just kind of wear you down. That's another reason. Like with Altaria, I was really, and you weren't having any of it. I was trying to stall out your protects, and
Oh
you
yeah.
were just not clicking protect. And so I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
I
I
was like,
figured you needed to heal at some point. I was also really lucky in getting that burn really early on with
yeah.
Flamethrower.
I mean, it
Yeah.
didn't really matter too much. It made me have to heal a little bit more, but I still used all my roosts.
Yeah. It definitely saved PP on my end to not have to
Yeah,
protect as much.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just
Yeah,
Palisand is just one of those things. Like it lives a lot of hits. Like it looked good into Iron Boulder.
yes. Yeah. You didn't
Um,
have many rock resists beside. Oh, you had a decent amount of.
yeah, I got my like,
Yeah.
except for Iron Treads, I've got 5 ground types that resist rock. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I mean,
You actually have.
I just thought I thought Palisade looked pretty good into your team overall.
Yeah, and the Shadow Ball was like very, very strong
And I
with
mean,
the.
except for Meloetta, it's very spammable into your team.
Yeah, Meloetta, the only point that it's on the team is because I need a normal type to not get
Yeah.
left by like Dragapult, Shadow Ball.
hmm I mean, Meloetta is a good Pokemon, and yeah, on a team that's half psychic, you kind of need something that can switch in on ghost moves.
Yeah, it's
And
great. It gets, it can pivot out too. And if I want to do something quirky, I can put Relic Song on it.
oh yeah, it's a great assault vest user.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
It's
This
a
and yeah, the special defense I think like is pretty good on my team. Physical walls are a lot harder for, psychic types just don't have as many of
yeah,
them.
they just don't have it. Yeah. Uh, that was something I noticed because like originally whenever I was looking at Valiant, I did think about special,
Yeah.
and then I was looking at calcs with both sides, and I was just like, oh, physical just does a lot more damage to him.
Yeah. Yeah, all these like random psychic types just have a lot of special defense for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just psychics, mental strength,
Yeah.
so special defense. That's kind of the lore I've always gone with it. Uh, but I
Yeah, I
mean,
can see.
you drafted nicely around that too, because like steel is typically seen as the more physically defensive type.
Yep, yep.
So like
Yeah. If anything, it's hard for my steel types to have special defense. Like, I feel like my Pokemon
yes,
are very divided between either physical or especially defensive.
yeah, you get a couple like decent ones. Like I think that's one of the reasons I wanted treads. Like treads is so good on both sides. Like, it's so
Oh
OP on
yeah,
both
I was
sides.
so gonna get treads if you didn't pick it up
I love
earlier.
that thing. Oh, that thing was in the original plan for
Yeah,
whenever I was allowed to get ground. I was like, yeah, treads, 1,000%. I want this thing, and like I was like, it's it gave me a few things. Like, well, because originally I wanted treads Coco Valiant,
Oh,
but
that would have been such a great team.
but uh,
Too strong.
in mod chat, Kronos was basically like, oh hey, I want this, and then this is my backup. So I was like, I knew there was no chance I was getting him because he left his
Yeah.
picks. I was like, oh, that sucks. So I had to kind of pivot because
I mean, Coco is such
I
a
wanted
fun.
2 tier 1 fairies. That was my original plan. Was I wanted two tier
Mm.
1 fairies because like if you look at my fairies uh, after Iron Valiant, a lot of them are more support.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're
I
a
mean,
lot
because
more
I
powerful.
wanted 2 offensive fairies, and like originally in my draft plan, I had Primarina in my draft plan instead of Togekiss.
Hmm.
But I felt like Togekiss filled other gaps better than Primarina did.
I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Have
I
you
was like I
found
wanted. But beg your pardon.
Yeah, how do you like using Mega Altaria? It's such a unique Mega.
Um, I like how versatile it can be. It's
Yeah.
it's almost like using a mythical because it has like straight line stats all the way down. Um, because
I didn't know that.
it's like HP, special attack, special defense, and like physical attack are like all the same. It's like base 110.
Oh, interesting.
It's something like that. I mean, don't quote me on those numbers exactly, but it's something like because like 4 of its base stats are like 110. It's like yeah, it can be run physical, it can be run special, but like you typically run it, the physical if you're running offensive because Dragon Dance is
Right.
just a great move. And like I think the last couple times I brought it was more of a support version. Um, but I've enjoyed it. I know that
Yeah.
one of the one of the people in the league he's not playing this season. He's kind of where I'm at. Been retired.
Hmm.
He loves Mega Altaria. No, he loves regular Altaria. My bad. Sorry, Shane.
Regular Altaria. That's a hot take.
He loves regular Altaria because he always drafts Mega Gyarados.
I feel like I'm always disappointed if I try to use regular Altaria.
He loves the damn thing. Like natural cure with Dragon Dance. He's like, oh, I set up a Dragon Dance. You went for Toxic or Will O Wisp. I just switch out and try it again later.
Oh yeah, that's fair. All
So
right.
I mean, that's how he looks at it. He just loves Dragon Dance, Mons, and Evolutions.
Yeah.
That is
I was
that.
surprised that not as many people picked all the tier 1 megas in the league. Like we had a good amount of those
Yeah, there's still a lot
tier
left.
2,
Like,
tier
because like
3
I know I waited a long time to pick mine in the draft but I was starting to get nervous because like T4U, I asked him because he was the other fairy drafter. I was like, dude, are you getting
Mm.
any interest in Mega Altari? He's like, no, not really. I'm not. I'm not. I was like, okay, so like I was
You
just
don't need to worry.
waiting for the other dragon drafters to take a Mega, and neither of them were doing it. And I was just like,
Uh,
my entire plan hinges on getting a tier 2 Mega. And so I was
Form
like, if
Twice.
I mean, look, I mean, I wouldn't have been super upset with Mega Gardevoir or Mega Mawile, but I was like,
Yeah, those are good mons.
my plan, I needed the extra points. So I was
Uh,
like, I was like, I really don't want to get screwed over, so I ended up. It didn't end up costing me, thank God.
yeah.
But that was
Yeah,
just.
you got a good team.
Oh yeah, thank you. I like it. It's fun to play. Your team was a nightmare. I'm bit too. It was a nightmare to prep for. And like I said, the Celesteela is just in and of itself bad times for my team.
Yeah, yeah. It's such a interesting Pokemon too. I hadn't played any draft leagues. I've mostly been playing SV draft.
Mm-hmm.
So Natex is pretty different just in terms of, all the Ultra Beasts being available and then so much more like defog,
Yeah,
hazard
knockoff.
removal, and then everything getting toxic.
Yeah,
It's kind of different in that way.
toxic knockoff.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, exactly.
nothing in Scarlet and Violet gets knockoff except for like 3 Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah, and toxic too. Which
Yeah,
toxic probably a bit.
that trend started in Sword and Shield with no
Things
move
losing
tutors,
toxic.
no move tutors, because
Oh,
that's where a
yeah.
lot of Pokemon get it from in like Scarlet and Violet. I mean, in Scarlet, Sun and Moon and X and Y and stuff is move tutors.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no move
Yeah, I haven't
tutors.
actually played the games in a while.
So, but that's why I'm an old head. I'm old. So
Yeah, have you
it,
been enjoying the new mons, Valiant, Dogspun?
this is my second time using Valiant. The first time I used it, I hated it. Like
What?
I hated it the first time I used
Wow.
it. As far as, but I'm enjoying it this time. Um, a lot of this team. I think I tend to draft because there's not a lot of mons I haven't used because I don't like drafting the same mons over and over and over again.
hmm Yeah, yeah, I feel that.
It keeps draft interesting. So
Yeah.
like this team, like I've used like on the team I brought today, there's only 2 mons I've ever used before this season, which is Palisade and Garchomp.
Oh,
But
nice.
like, I mean, I've got mons that like I'll use in a pinch. Like one mon that I love, I've used it quite a few times. Like Sarina, like I love Sarina. I think it's so good in draft.
hmm
But like, yeah, Garchomp was like one of the on like the first team I ever drafted. I had Feeny Chomp.
Nice.
It was awesome.
Garchomp is great. Yeah.
But yeah, I've liked Valiant this season. I've loved Iron Treads this season.
Yeah, Treads is so versatile.
Um, Mega Altaria is it's Mega Altaria. It's fine. It's a mid tier Mega. Uh, but like most like the other teams, the other Pokemon, like I'm trying to think of what I haven't used before that's on this team. Like Doxbun, it's fine. I want to get it a kill this season. I haven't yet, but I haven't used Nidoqueen before. I'm loving Nidoqueen.
Yeah,
Um,
it's good.
yeah,
The sheer force,
yeah, Sheer Force is great. And I ran a
everything.
bulky a couple times.
Yeah, it's the bulkier one of the Nidos.
I thought it fit my team better whenever I was looking at draft prep. Like I was like
Hmm.
Nido King and Nido Queen. I was like I feel like Nido Queen fit the team better as far as the
Yeah,
two went.
yeah.
And then yeah, I think there's a lot of mons like Togekiss I've used before. Uh, Seismitoad I've used before. Palisand, obviously. Like, I think there's only a handful of low tier mons that I'll like trust myself to use because like there's like low tiers on mons like people have ones that they know how to play. And it's
Right.
more about knowing how to play them than being good. Like I've never used Piloswine before. I'm enjoying Piloswine a lot.
Piloswine's good.
I've never
Yeah,
used it before. I've used Mamoswine before. I've never used Piloswine before this season. I'm really enjoying it.
yeah. I'm still pretty new in draft, so I think everyone on my team I've not used before.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun using new mons. I Mega Alakazam has been my favorite Pokemon since I was a kid, and I've never used regular or Megazam. I've
Wow.
never
Yeah,
used either one.
Megazam is really cool. Yeah, I feel like I need to figure out how to use the thing better because it's a crazy, crazy Pokemon.
Yes, the special attack stat is
Yeah,
insane.
insane.
But do you have anything else that you'd like to point out? Anything else you saw? Anything else you?
Uh, Not particularly. It was a great match though.
Yeah, really, really good game. So hope maybe we do it again in playoffs. We're both kind of setting
Maybe.
up
We'll
near
have
the
to
top,
change
so
things
hopefully it's
up.
later. I don't want to see you first round.
I know, me neither.
So if that's good, I think that we will leave it there. So if you enjoyed, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun stuff down below, and stay tuned for more PWO content. And we will catch you in the next one. Peace out.